What is up, guys? It is Dan. I'm back. All right, guys. I want to talk to you about an app that I'm making. I made one video on it right now. It's about Google grounding, Ground for Google Maps, and Ground for Google Maps powered by Gemini. I wanted to show you the progress that I've made on it. It's actually pretty interesting. So here on the right side, you'll see the app, and I'm going to go down. I've created a couple of different things, and if you remember now, you can actually chat now with the Google. Okay, let me back up. All right, so I'm building this app. It's called Grounding with Google Maps, now available in the Gemini API. So I've talked a little bit about this on a previous video, and I started to build this app, with grounding for Google Maps, and in an effort to be able to see how I can use the data, if I could build on top of the data, and what sort of insights I can glean from that data. I started to build an app in Replit. Okay, so I'm going to show you where I'm at, how far I've gotten with that, and where I'm planning to take the app moving forward. All right, so this is the interface of the app right now. It's called an intelligence platform. Right here, you can sort of toggle, and you can get a chat, you can get a map query, you can get reports, business ideas, data catalog, marketplace, and settings, right? So first, I'm going to show you this chatbot. So I've enabled this chatbot that can basically, and it can basically talk with the Grounding for Google Maps API directly, and then you can query it, and you can actually find out information about everything stored in that API and pull it back, and then you could do a number of different things with it, right? So I'm going to ask it a basic question, all right? Tell me the top sectors of growth in San Diego, California, over the past 12 months. So it's going to, I just asked it a question. Now my AI assistant right here is thinking, and it's querying the Google Grounding for Google Maps API right now, and it's going to return that information back with sort of a structured output of what it finds, okay? All right, San Diego, California has demonstrated a dynamic economic landscape over the past 12 months, with several sectors showing notable growth and resilience despite broader economic uncertainties. And it basically goes into the different sectors that are popular within the San Diego area, life sciences and biotech. And then it kind of talks about over the last 12 months, how they've grown. They've grown, from X billion to X billion. And they sort of talk about that a little bit more. And then I'll say, name the top, 20 businesses with the highest growth rates, and tell me where they are located. All right, so now I'm going to query it and ask it, okay, so based off of the last 12 months economic growth and trends, I'm asking it, okay, where are these businesses located? What are the businesses? And I'm going to try to see if I can find out some other information, right? Okay, so name the top 20 businesses with the highest growth rates and tell me where they're located. It's challenging you to provide definitive list of top 20 businesses with highest growth rates, specifically over the last 12 months, blah, blah, blah. However, I can provide information from prominent lists of fast-growing companies. Okay, so prominent fast-growing companies in San Diego, and it's providing me this information and the growth rates of these different companies. All right. And then it says locations. Okay. That's one example, right? Now I could say, tell me the neighborhoods. Let's just say neighborhoods in San Diego, California that are growing the fastest. And then name the businesses in those areas with the highest Google reviews. I'm just trying to show you the sort of diversity of the data that you could ping from this API. Now, you could probably do something similar just using ChatGPT specifically, but I'm going to show you here what I'm planning to eventually do with this intelligence platform sort of command center as I start layering in more and more data, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Right now, it's just early days in a growth, sort of just trying to build the app and get it sort of foundation. Okay, so there's a chat, and it says fastest growing neighborhoods in San Diego and San Diego surrounding areas: North Park, downtown San Diego, Otay Ranch, and it goes on, right? And then it says businesses with the highest Google reviews in selected fastest growing neighborhoods. And then it says Mike's Tacos, Polite Provisions, and it goes through. And now you can have it structure this data however you want. And, you can pull out a number of different insights from this data. And one thing that I built was a data catalog. So if I jump over to the data catalog, you're going to see all the different types of things I've built out with this MCP server built for grounding with Google Maps. All the different data that you can retrieve back is in this data catalog right here, and you can search it, right? So I can say website. Well, I guess the search doesn't really work right now. I got to fix the search, but in theory, it's supposed to work. I got to fix that search. But anyway, you could number of employees, company website, legal business name. So number of employees is interesting, right? We can probably do an estimate. I'm going to go back to chat in a second, show you something. Okay, so you could glean all this data, right? Geospatial data, revenue and transactional data, which is pretty interesting that you can get revenue and transactional data from the API, industry benchmarks, NICS codes, all kinds of different things you can get back, right? So number of employees. Let's go back to chat and let's ask it in the San Diego area. Let's ask if, okay, where are the, or let's just say, what businesses have the highest growth rate in terms of employee growth or general employment? Let's see if it returns that back based on that stat, that number we just saw in the data catalog there. So it's thinking. Let's give it a moment. It'll think here for just a sec. But you can start to sort of see the idea of how you can start using this data for different things, right? You can use this data to do marketing. You can use data to research. You can use this data to actually send out reports and analysis, to generate business ideas, all kinds of different things you can do using this data. So let's jump right back into it. All right. AI Assistant says, with the absolute growth rate. Okay, so these are companies that are rapidly scaling. CoreWeave, Anthropic, OpenAI. These are all down in San Diego. Oh, it did not query just I didn't put San Diego. That's why. I should have put San Diego. It didn't keep the context, but it is saying the fastest growing companies, I guess, across probably the US or based on some sort of top list. Let's change that really quick to San Diego. In San Diego, California, because I really wanted to know in San Diego, how many, what companies are growing the fastest. And then you could actually ask all kinds of other different things, right? Which I'll go into in a moment here. So while that's, here it goes, it returned it. Like Genentech is growing the fastest. Neurocrine Biosciences, Illumina is growing very fast. Thermo Fisher. So a lot of biotech companies, technology companies. Now let's say you could say in retail, let's say what businesses have the highest, what retail businesses in San Diego. Last one, and then I'll show you some of the other features that's going on here. So while that is that's going there, you can see I'm gonna start now adding an area to query maps, so you can actually see on the map where these businesses lie. Quite challenging to pinpoint individual retail businesses. Here are the categories that are growing the most. Okay, so it's just giving some examples. You could look up crime statistics with this, all kinds of different things, right? So then I built a map query engine, which I don't know if it works 100% yet, but you could query a map here. There's going to be different business reports that you can build right over here. You can then generate reports in the total records in those reports and extract those. And then where I think it gets really interesting is when you start layering on other data sources, the U.S. Census Bureau data sources, real estate. You can start searching the MCP for information and then tying it to the Zillow real estate API, weather APIs, economic indicator APIs, social media insights. There's all kinds of things you can now attach to this grounding for Google Maps and make sort of this intelligence platform to do research, to build reports, to get ideas for business, to do marketing, all kinds of different things. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. I just wanted to give you a quick update on where I'm going with this, and I'll give you more of an update in the future, but just wanted to give you an update. Remember, it's quite funny actually. This video is called Ground for Google Maps API, right? Using the API to code. I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, but I'm building and I'm developing and I'm loving it so far. So stay tuned to watch what happens next. See ya.